Hello, welcome to Gurukul's CAT 100 series, a series that's designed specifically to take you from your study room to the corporate boardroom. I am Prady Sharma and this is Verbal Mastery with Prady.
Hello everyone, welcome back to day 96 of our 100 days to CAT test series. Now, this is the passage for today in case you want to take this up as a test. All you've got to do is go on to www.thegurukul.org.in and sign up for our 100 days to CAT test series. If you want to follow along with this video, then this will be the first parts of your passage. Pause the video here, read these parts and then we'll move forward. These are the second parts of your passage. Pause the video here, read these parts and then we're going to go into the questions of this passage. This is question number 1. Pause the video here, answer this question and then we're going to go into the question number 2. This is question number 2. Pause the video here, answer this question and then we're going to go into the question number 3. This is question number 3. Pause the video here, answer this question and then we're going to go into the question number 4. Now this is question number 4. Pause the video here, answer this question and then we'll look at the explanation of the passage and the questions together. The passage says creativity is at once our most precious resource and our most inexhaustible one. As anyone who has ever spent any time with children knows, every single human being is born creative. Every human being is innately endowed with the ability to combine and recombine data, perceptions, materials and ideas and devise new ways of thinking. What fosters creativity? So far till this point, the author is saying that creativity is innate to everyone, right? The question that the author then asks is what fosters creativity? That means what brings up creativity? More than anything else, the presence of other creative people. So one of the major reasons why people are creative is because they are around other creative people. The big myth is that creativity is the province of great individual geniuses. In fact, creativity is a social process. So again, we understand that creativity is not individual, okay, it's not about individual genius, but it's a social process. Our biggest creative breakthroughs come when people learn from, compete with and collaborate with other people. Cities are the true fronts of creativity with their diverse populations, dense social networks and public spaces where people can meet spontaneously and serendipitously. They spark and catalyze ideas, catalyze new ideas with the infrastructure for finance, organization and trade. They allow those ideas to be swiftly actualized. So basically here he's asking us what fosters creativity, and then he's telling that it is a social process, and since it's a social process, cities increase creativity. And how do cities increase creativity? They increase creativity because they have diverse populations, dense social networks and public spaces where people can meet and talk peacefully, and that will give rise to new ideas also. So this is one reason, okay. And the second reason is that they have certain infrastructure for finance, organization and trade which can actually allow these ideas to materialize very quickly, these ideas to come to life very quickly. So that is what I understand the first paragraph of this passage. Now for the second paragraph, as for what staunches creativity, again, staunches reduces. You can think of staunches as reduces. So as for what reduces creativity, that's easy if ironic. It's the very institutions that we build to manage, exploit and perpetuate the fruits of creativity. Our big bureaucracies are, sad to say, too many of our schools. So basically the idea that I get from here is that schools reduce creativity. Ideally, a school is supposed to increase your creativity, but here it's reducing your creativity. Creativity is disruptive. Schools are and organizations are regimented. Regimented means having a very disciplined structure. Standardized and stultifying. Stultifying, something that cuts something down, something that stops the progress of something. Okay. The education expert Sir Ken Robinson points to a 1968 study reporting on a group of 1600 children who were tested over time for their ability to think in out-of-the-box ways. When the children were between 3 and 5 years old, 98% of them achieved positive scores. When they were between 8 and 10, only 32% passed the same test and only 10% at 13 to 15. When 2,80,000 25-year-olds took the test, just 2% passed. By the time we're adults, our creativity has been wrung out of us. That means by the time we go through the entire formal education, go through the process of schooling, our creativity has been taken out, okay, and it's been replaced with just a regimented focus on education. Right? Now that we've understood these two paragraphs, let's go forward. I once asked the great urbanist Jane Jacobs what makes some places more creative than others. She said essentially that the question was an easy one. Okay, so the author asks one of the urbanists what makes some places more creative than others. So this is another new question that I'm getting, right? Comparative question about what makes a place more creative than others. She says all cities were filled with creative people. That's our default state as people. But some cities had more than their shares of leaders, people and institutions that blocked out creativity. Now, what do I understand from this? I understand that, okay, everywhere, no matter which city you are in, creativity is filled, okay, there's creative people everywhere, but there are some cities wherein there are certain leaders or institutions which reduce that creativity, and in other institutions or other cities where the institutions are good, they make creativity prosper, okay, so that's what I get from there. She called them squelchers. The people who block creativity are called squelchers over here. Basically, squelcher is actually a device that reduces the noise when radio frequencies are being given out. Anyways, that's not really relevant to the passage. Creativity or the lack of it follows the same general contours of the great socio-economic divide or rising inequality that plagues us. So basically, creativity or the pattern that creativity follows across population is the same as how economic divide follows as a pattern. According to my own estimates, roughly a third of across the United States and perhaps as much as half of us in most creative cities are able to work with work which engages our creative faculties to some extent, whereas whether as artists, musicians, writers, techies, innovators, entrepreneurs, doctors, lawyers, journalists or educators, those of us who work with our minds. Now, here comes our next idea. So this woman tells that people who work with mind, okay, keep their creative process alive. So obviously that leaves a group that I term the other 66% who toil. Toil means who work hard in low wage, rote and rotten jobs. Something that's repetitive, something that does not have a lot of thinking to do. If they have jobs at all in which their creativity is subjugated, ignored or wasted. That means whatever creativity they have, because of the kind of job they've been doing, okay, if they have a job at all, then that creativity is also wasted. Creativity itself is not in danger, it's flourishing, is all around us. In science and tech, arts and culture, in our rapidly revitalizing cities, but we still have a long way to go if we want to build a truly creative society that supports and rewards the creativity of each and every one of us. So basically, creativity in itself is not in danger. Although some people have been stifled of their creativity, there's still a lot of people who are doing extremely well in different domains of the world, different domains of life that's bringing out creativity. But if we want people, all people, to be creative, we need to do better. Now that we've understood the passage, let's get into the questions. The first question is, in the author's view, cities promote human creativity for all of the following reasons except that they. Now, this is a specific detail type of question, comes directly from a part of the passage. In the author's view, cities promote human creativity for all of the following reasons except that they. Now, this is a specific detail type of question which directly comes from a part of the passage which is this part, right? So cities are the true fronts of creativity till here, right? So if I look at it, here he says with the diverse populations, dense social network, public spaces where people can meet spontaneously and serendipitously, they get new ideas and there's infrastructure to actually help them bring those ideas into life. So A, contains spaces that enable people to meet and share new ideas. Yes, this is one reason why creativity is high. Specifically in cities. Second one, expose people to different novel ideas because they are home to varied groups of people. Yes, they are like large social networks and all that's been spoken about. So this is also in the passage. Third one, provide the financial and institutional networks that enable ideas to come to reality. This has also been spoken to us. What about fourth one? Provide access to cultural activities that promote new and creative ways of thinking. Now, this part about cultural activities has not been spoken at all in the passage. So this will be an out of scope choice for me. So fourth one would be my correct answer. Yes, now let's go to the question number 2. The central idea of the passage is that, so what is the passage really talking about? What's the main idea of this entire passage? Throughout the passage, we've learned, if we've learned anything, that is that the theme is about creativity. And what are we talking about creativity? We are saying that if there are people around us, individually you can't do anything. You need to have creative people around you to be creative as well. So social interaction is necessary to nurture creativity. Looks like an extremely good answer. Second one, creativity and ideas are gradually declining in all of societies. Now see, that is one of the supporting themes. But here still in the last paragraph, he says that creativity is flourishing all around us, right? So this cannot be our central idea. Third one, the creativity divide is widening in societies in line with the socio-economic trends. Again, this is one supporting idea about what we see as a general trend in people. This is not the main idea for us. So not going to be our answer. Fourth one, more people should work in jobs that engage their creative faculties. Again, the author has said that people who work in jobs that engage their creative faculties are creative. They have not said that more people should do this. It's not a recommendation kind of a passage, right? So this will not be our correct answer. The best possible answer for us would be 1. Now let's go to the third question. John Jacobs believes that cities that are more creative. So what is one of the characteristics of cities that are more creative according to Jane Jacobs? Again, kind of a specific detailed question, but yes, bordering on the inferences. Have to struggle to retain their creativity. See, nowhere has it been mentioned that cities have to work hard to maintain their creativity, right? So I can remove this. Have to squelch unproductive people and promote creative ones. Again, although this might be something that you would want, Jane Jacobs never said that we have to squelch anyone. Instead, Jane Jacobs said that some people are being stifled of their creativity by squelchers. So this is a misinterpretation of what's been told in the passage, so not going to be our answer. Third one, have leaders and institutions that do not block creativity. So this is something that we've seen, right, while we were doing the passage, that certain cities which are not that creative have leaders which block creativity or who block creativity. So if I need cities that are more creative, something that is creative as a city, there should be leaders who are not blocking that creativity, right? So this seems like a good answer. Fourth one, typically do not start off as creative hubs. Do they start off as creative hubs or not? It's not been mentioned to us in the passage, so this becomes an out of scope choice for us. So the best possible answer for us would be 3. Now let's go to the last question of the passage. The author's conclusions about the most creative cities in the US are based on his assumption that, so basically what is the author assuming when he's talking about the most creative cities in the US? He's saying that people who work with their mind are always more creative, right? So obviously people who do not work with their mind are not creative. That's his assumption, right? So A says people who work with their hands are not doing creative work. This could very well be the assumption because they're not working with their mind. More than half of the population works in non-creative jobs. Now this is not his assumption. This is the data. It's a fact that's already been presented by saying that 66% of people work in non-creative jobs. So it's a fact and not an assumption. Third one, only artists, musicians, writers and so on should be valued in a society. Again, this becomes a very extreme answer. He's not said who should be valued in a society. He said that these are creative professions. So third one will not be our answer. Fourth one, most cities ignore or waste the creativity of low-wage workers. Yes, this is true and it's been stated explicitly. Okay, something that's been stated explicitly as a fact does not become an assumption. Please remember always an assumption, okay, there are two things over here. Whenever we are talking about an assumption is nothing but an implied fact. Okay, by that same logic, whenever you get a question about an inference is nothing but an implied conclusion. So whenever there's an argument, there's two sides of it, right? The facts and the conclusions. Something that's explicitly stated does not become an assumption or an inference. Since it's explicitly stated to us, okay, this will not be an assumption. So the best possible answer for us now becomes first one. Now, if you watched this video till here, please not forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. We'll be bringing new videos for you every single day. Please stay tuned and I'll see you in the next video.
Hope you enjoyed learning from today's session.
This series is designed to help you with your CAT preparation and practice daily. We are with you in this journey.
To watch the next video, click here. And to watch Gurukul's CAT 100 series, study room to boardroom, the entire playlist, click here.
If you learned from today's session, like, share, and subscribe.